Joe Scott, basketball season finally here, at least this weekend. You're headed out to Las Vegas. Can you feel an excitement in your players even though this season is so strange with this pandemic?
Yeah, I think we'll really start to feel it this week. I mean, we were off yesterday, so I think we're coming back today, and we're going to go, 4 days to get ready for two teams. And I think with that kind of preparation, it becomes more real that you actually have games coming up. We had no scrimmages, so for all intents and purposes, nobody in the country's really played since last, say, March 1st, by and large. So I think as we get closer this week, we'll all feel it, and it's all new for our entire group with the new staff. But I know we're looking forward to it, and hopefully we have a smooth week and things go smooth. Because in this environment, you got to sort of be ready for anything. But hopefully we can all be healthy, which we are, and stay that way as we go through this week.
Basketball's kind of where it all started, at least with this pandemic. It seemed like for the sports world, the NCAA tournaments were all kind of shutting down as this whole thing got started. Can basketball be, in your mind, the impetus to get this thing back going again?
Yeah. Well, I think, like you said, last year all the conference tournament wasn't last year, it was March, but all the conference tournaments got shut down. I think one thing that we have to keep looking at is as these things occur, that happen in football, but as, say, a cancellation occurs or something like that, in the grand scheme of things, there's there's going to be, say, 330 college basketball teams playing. It could be 335, and at the end of the day, 90% are playing and 10% aren't playing. And if that's a constant thing of 85-15, 90-10, well, you look at it from the side of the can. I think we've progressed. Can we look at it? Well, we can play. 90% of the teams can play instead of the other way around of 15% or 10% can't play, and that rules the day. I just hope we keep going forward, because I know for the players, most importantly, they want to play. And if we can play safely in the right environments, doing it the right way, following the protocols, then I think 85-90%, says, we should play, and hopefully we're able to keep that mindset throughout the whole, season starting this week.
You play Saturday, Sunday, Cal State Northridge in Seattle. Two teams I'm assuming probably have some transfer players. What do you know about these teams that you're facing?
Well, Northridge, both teams appears as though they have completely new teams. Maybe, sort of one returning starter, a lot of new faces for them. That doesn't necessarily mean they're young, because like you said, transfers. The coach for Northridge is, Gottfried. He was at NC State for a lot of Alabama, NC State. So there's going to be transfers there. I know he has, for a fact, 3 of them. So one was from Texas A&M, who I played against the last couple of years, so I know him. I'm familiar with him. So it's just going to be one of those things, again, completely sort of new teams. You can't watch film to look at their personnel, really. It's more, this is how Mark's teams play. Seattle coach, this is how Jim's teams play. I played against him before, so just that sort of familiarity is what we're going to go off of, and then this is how those teams are playing. This will be Gottfried's second year, I think. Hayford's been there for 3-4 years. This is how his teams are playing now, and then, like anything, what do I think? What does our staff think in terms of how do we think they're going to play against us? So those are the things, and in reality, what we got to do is, sort of be ready for what we need to do for us to be good, and then think of first game scenarios all the time are, okay, you got to be ready for a zone, you got to be ready for a press, you got to be ready for, as best you can be, without sacrificing that you have to be good at what your staples are. So that's what we're going to concentrate on over the next 4 days.
It sounds like it's a little bit more complicated, though, to be ready for everything. Because someone comes out in a zone that you weren't, or man, you weren't prepared. So you're kind of throwing a lot at these guys. Is your team going to be prepared?
Well, I think we've had time. We have been ahead. I think the fact that we were able to, because of the circumstances, we did come back for the first time ever in the summertime and have some time with them. we were able to go through August and be on the court with them. And, you know, all those things I think did pay some dividends for this point in time, where when it comes to all those, you know, playing zone and against press, you always have to be ready for that. But then any other situational type things, I think I'm hopeful we're a little more prepared than normal going into a first game. And we're just fortunate in our first year that we did have that time, because if we hadn't, and you go normal October 1st, say, or October 10th, then you're really looking at 2 games in 2 days, and it's always a challenge, because 2 games in 2 days right off the bat here, you know, we're not going to have any time to prepare for Seattle. We got to do that on the front end. So it's going to be, you know, it's going to be harder because of that. But in the grand scheme of things, I think our guys we just want to play. You know, they want to play a game. They want to play against somebody else. You know, the competitive juices are so much different when you play against somebody else. And the number one challenge I'm trying to get our guys ready for is that, the competitive nature, playing against somebody else, you know, just the rise in the tension level, you know, the rise in the competitiveness. That's the way what the games bring out. And we have to be ready for that. You know, if we are, I think we're going to be prepared. If we're not ready for that, you know, then it doesn't matter how prepared we are.
Right, exactly. It's going to be weird and strange for you, your players, everyone, because there won't be any fans in the stands. Are you worried about them getting to that competitive level without that extra, you know, outside cheering or whatever?
Mm-hmm. I think that's going to be an interesting dynamic, you know, when you go out there to play in a game and there's nobody there, you know. So in essence, it's some type of scrimmage, you know, and okay, it doesn't matter. It's a game. So again, it's just that, to me, that's what the game is. You know, I mean, that's the definition of it's a game. It's who's ready for that. You know, who's ready for, and again, we're not in a boxing match, but you know, who's ready for, you know, who's ready for the fight. And that's really, and right from when the ref throws the ball up, not 5 minutes in, not after, you know, they threw 4 haymakers, you know, and then, oh, now I understand what coach was talking about. You know what I mean? No, we got to understand what we're talking about ahead of time, and that's really going to be, I think, a big learning curve for our team in general going forward. So we're going to find out a lot this weekend, you know, back to back, a lot of minutes, and hopefully we'll be able to learn from that. And then when we start practicing next week coming back, we'll have a body of work to go off of versus just what I think is going to happen or what I'm trying to get them. And that's why first games are really important, because they give you that body of evidence to move forward, and the players really know the reasons why you're working on these things. And, you know I'm looking for it. I'm going to have some, you know, I'm just looking forward to seeing these guys play, really, and see what they have inside of them, and see that sort of grit. And if I see that, then I know we'll get better as we go through the season.
It'll be fun.
It will be.
Starts this weekend. Joe, thanks for the time. Good luck.
Thanks, Brian.